Hi everyone, how are we all doing? A short recording this evening to discuss the Hasbro Pulse reveals from earlier on. So we've got quite a few bots that were revealed, some that had been leaked before, some that were sprung on us, and then at the very end they showed some images and kind of gave us a little bit more information on what to expect in the future. So I'm Primetime Moff, you've seen me in the group, and I am joined by the absolutely wonderful and Megatron loving Optimus Prime. No, I'm only kidding. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Cheers, man. Nice to be here.
So, as you might notice, my webcam has went wonky and has now got this weird fuzz, blurry bit. It has been a bit of a technical nightmare trying to get things working this evening to get this recorded. I will buy a new webcam.
It's as if you're talking to us from like a previous time.
Yeah, it's not great. So I will remedy that matter. It's my little boy's webcam, and I'm sure he'll not be happy that I've potentially broke it as well. So I'll fix that. So let's jump in. So the first thing we saw was some of the movie bots. There's none of them I'm really excited about. You know, I think that some of the alt modes look really nice. I think the Scourge alt mode looks really nice. I'll be really curious to see it in person. But I think for me, for the movie bots, because we've not seen the movie yet, I'm not sitting going, oh, I really need a figure of X, Y, or Z. So there's nice molds in there. I think there's some interesting bits. The Cheetor looks like crap. But I think I'll hold my judgment until I've seen the movie to go, do I want a bot of X character? What about yourself? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. It's not like when the first movie came out and I wanted to get all the bots as soon as they came out because, you know, it was a Transformers movie, and regardless of what they were like in the film, I wanted all the bots. But now I'm been burnt a few too many times with the Bayverse line. They're lovely. I got very few of the Bumblebee bots. I only got Bumblebee and Prime, and I think I got a drop kick at some point. But yeah, Scourge does look lovely. He looks suitably menacing. You came up with what he looks like a second ago, which I'll let you divulge.
Yeah.
I feel that he looks much better as the Fallen than the Fallen did. He's got like the orange glow in his chest, and he looks suitably like, yeah, he looks cool. But yeah, I might get some. I'm not quite as negative on Cheetor as you. He looks like Cheetor, but as if he was made of Karamak.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, the Scourge helmet to me looks like a Transformers crossover with Turtles, a kind of mech shredder. Again, I always think these ones are the ones when you're on the fence with are once you see them in person, you can make a better decision to go, oh, I like that or I don't like that. So, you know, we have many conventions this year. There'll be many opportunities to hopefully see these in person to make that decision. And you know, that there has been bots before where I'm like, I'm not interested in that. And then you see it with somebody else who's getting a shot of it and you're seeing it and you're like, actually, that's pretty nice. And, you know, we've just went through a month of crazy price slashes. You know, I was sharing with you my second laser prime that I got from the game. I don't have a desire to get a second one, really. I'll keep one in alt mode for the price it was. So there's a potential of buying some of these kind of bots. I like experiencing new transformations and new engineering. You know, we were talking earlier on about your little Prime and the gimmicky Transformers. And, you know, when I was at TF Nation this year, I bought a pile of movie bots that I had no interest in because I just wanted something to play about with.
I seriously can't stop playing with this. It's been on the desk for a couple of days and it's just... Anyway. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's part of the fun with Transformers for me, and this is why I can never understand inbox collectors. It's getting your figure out and it's playing with it. It's transforming it. I've got a bunch of bots on my desk at work that I bought specifically for work. There's a couple of primes, there's a Soundwave inexplicably, and a few other bits and bobs.
Just I liked you for a reason.
Sorry?
I said I knew I liked you for a reason.
I just picked it up in B&M. Just I saw them. They were like $6.99 for the core class from Earthrise, and I just bought it. And fiddle. And that's what I really like about the mainline stuff. You can just play with it. They are toys to be played with. You can't do that with third-party, expensive, masterpiece, fear-mongering, terrifying transformations. That you're just going to be terrified you're going to break. These things are designed to either be simple or come apart.
Exactly.
But yes,
for me, it's the intuitiveness of the Hasbro stuff. Like I take stuff to work, and I usually grab a handful of bots and just have something to kind of sit and fiddle around with. You don't even need to pay attention to it. Almost,
no.
That's kind of simple way of doing it. Whereas with a masterpiece, through Prime Time, I've had bots come in that I've had to transform into different modes to then ship and sell, and some of them are terrifying. I remember doing, wasn't Generation Devastator, it was Toy World Devastator. That gave me the actual fear doing it because it was just so complex, and I was like, oh my god. And then the worst, I experienced the worst transformation ever last year. The most horrible, it's horrible, except for the fact that it's an absolutely gorgeous bot mode, and that's the Purple Potato Shockwave.
Oh, right.
Which I've got like an eyesight underneath Unicron, and it's gorgeous, but it was horrible to transform, and it was not enjoyable. And Transformers shouldn't be that. And listen, Hasbro do that with some of them as well, like the X-Jet crossover. But that's where I'm like, I'll look forward to seeing somebody have these at, whether it be the TFN Minicon, whether it be TF UK Con, or even at the Big TF Nation. I'll look forward to somebody will have it on a table. And the good thing with these conventions is you can go up and ask them, how is it? Can I get a wee look at it? And that might sway me to go and pick something up.
But as you say, I mean, once I've seen the film, there's every chance I'll go, oh, I really want to have a Cheetor because he was really cool in the film, and I really like the character in Beast Wars. So even if he does look like a Caramac Nightmare, it's fine. And who else? Just very quickly go over who there was. There was Air Razor, there was RC, there was Orange One, who's not cool. Oh, flip.
This is why I prepped. We both prepped lists.
Sorry?
We both prepped lists, so we're prepared.
I prepped stuff.
Battle Trap,
of course. Silly me. He looks amazing. RC looks like a core class figure. Fine, whatever. Air Razor looks like Air Razor. Yeah, they're all fun. They'll all be fine. And the fact that they're all in studio series, which generally means they'll be high quality figures and will look quite nice. I'll probably pick a couple up. It'll happen. Anyway, shall we move on to Legacy?
Yes. Legacy Evolution Wave 2. Before we get into the kind of individuals, thoughts overall? Happy? Excited?
As I stated in my video that as of the time of recording, a whole 13 people have watched, and whether they got through my waffle, I don't know. I haven't really been buying mainline stuff apart from Primes in a while. I got to a point in Earthrise when I was like, I'm just sick of retreads of G1 characters coming out every 5 minutes and always being better than the last one I bought, which means I have to replace them. And then there's the whole exclusivity thing. And a lot of that's been corrected now. A lot of that's been sorted out because we've got Hasbro Pulse over here now, and we can get most of the figures. By the way, we're not sponsored by Hasbro Pulse, just to make that very clear.
Sadly not.
Wish we were. But yeah, so there's a lot of figures there that I drew a line and stopped. That said, I've still picked up the odd ones. I mean, I picked up Cosmos, and I picked up a few of the other bits and bobs, but I haven't been buying them all. So overall, my thoughts are, because I'm probably not going to get most of them. And that's just me. It doesn't mean that they're not good figures. There's some really, really cool designs there. And a couple of years ago, I'd been all over a lot of those. Metal Hawk, Twin Cast look awesome. Some of the reveal ones, which we'll talk about a little bit later, they look amazing. Always love a Beachcomber. Obviously the Insecticons, which we'll talk about in a second. The one thing I'm very much not a fan of is the core class Dinobots. I'll talk about that in a minute. Your thoughts?
Thanks. Yeah, I'm probably the opposite of you, because that aspect of them bringing out new versions, new updated molds of characters. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy the aspect of, if I was to say, like, my original collection goal was to have an updated version of every G1 character, I could have easily stopped for the whole part, a good while ago. But actually, it's quite fun to see then what do they do next and where do they go. Change engineering. I think this most recent stuff has kind of been at a different level, like the quality. Some of the stuff, I still think there's some reveal the shield things, for example, that still stand out for me. But some of the stuff in Legacy has just been fantastic. And for me, the Junkions are exciting. So it's just something different. I like the idea of something different, and it not just being another bike and another bike and another bike. There's something bigger involved with that. I think once it's been teased. On, I think it was a Toys R Us did an interview with Mark and Evan. It was teased around there being a combiner at the end of this, so I think that'll be an interesting but to see the core class I picked. I said this to you before the video, like, I picked up the first two because I'm curious at the aspect of them being a little combiner and a bit of fun. The core class stuff are great for on your desk, so I'll probably stick with them. For me, the big one that I'm probably most excited about is Shrapnel. The Insecticons for they're my favourite, or it'll be hard to say. Yeah, they're probably my favourite of the kind of wee mini teams. I had the three when I was a kid, and the ones what they've already brought out, Kickback and Shrapnel, look great. I'm really excited to see what they do with Bombshell. I know there will be people going, Crosscuts, for example, is a repaint. That doesn't bother me because Transformers is built on repaints. Like, it is. It just is. Like, there's no arguing about that. The Seekers are a prime example of season 1 there was repaints. So that doesn't stress me. And actually, I quite like that mold. I know there's not a lot of people like it, but I quite like the mold. It kind of feels more like the toy. I do love the Generation Skids that was the IDW version. But I think that's good. Twin Cast looks lovely. The colours look cracking on that. Really jumps out. Skyquake to me is one that it's more about the potential of that. But like, are we going to get a kind of Machine Wars style version? Repaint. There's opportunities there with it, and Hasbro don't really miss their opportunities. So yeah, I was quite happy with the reviews for the Wave 2.
Yeah, I think I've been slightly unfair. I do love, as I mentioned before, I do love fiddling with the core class bot. They're just fun. They're just a nice little thing, as you say, have on your desk. But my issue with the Dinobots is that the Dinobots, we just had a combiner out of the Dinobots with really quite. They're okay, but they weren't great Dinobots. And the Grimlock was poo, sludge, and they were all too small, and some of the designs were a bit blah. And then they turned into this skinny, horrible mess of a combiner, which I hated. But then you've had the Studio Series ones. You had the Studio Series Grimlock and the Studio Series Sludge, and not Slag.
Slug.
That's what it is. And they're amazing. I'm actually waiting to pick up my Sludge, to be honest. And they're amazing. They're such really good toys. I mean, the biggest issue that all of them have is they seem to have this weird thing where they don't seem to be able to engineer them to not have a gigantic butt. And Grimlock, the new core class Grimlock, is a perfect example of that. He has his calves in the butt of the dinosaur, yet it just looks giant and a stubby tail but G1 they managed it, and they had far less technological advances than we've got now, and we've just got these giant ass literally Dinobots. And the other thing, and this is a minor quibble, Grimlock does not have joints in his elbows. He has swivel joints, but no elbow joints. And it means he's like this.
Yeah.
And I've got Soundwave and Optimus on my desk at work, and they are perfect little fiddly, ball-jointed loveliness. And Grimlock, because for whatever reason they've decided to continue with the combining thing, they've made him look a bit poo.
Yeah, and I take that, and I think it is the probably the same problem we had with the last combiner set, is they're focusing on let's also make this a combiner. Does it need to be? And listen, Hasbro can knock a combiner out of the park. The recent Menasor is absolutely proof of that.
Exactly.
Forcing a combiner out that doesn't really need to be done.
Well, okay, so Dinobots, at some point somebody decided, oh, wouldn't it be cool if the Dinobots combined? I think it was in a comic at some point, and there's a few other things, and then it was like, oh, well, obviously they must combine. And then you had obviously Power of the Primes, so it was Power of the Primes, wasn't it? Yeah. And everything combined in that after Combiner Wars and everything else. But, you know, at the same time, a good segue, they've done the Insecticons. And the Insecticons, even when in Combiner Wars, we had those lovely core class, or whatever it was at the time, Insecticons. They were lovely. They were great little fiddlebots again, because they were the legend scale kind of thing. They looked like the G1 characters. They were cool. And now we've got them again, but in a much nicer looking sort of mode. The shrapnel, his bot mode is perfect for G1. And the insect mode as well. And they haven't decided to try and make them a combiner.
I know. It's not forced to. Although when you're reminding us that the idea of a combiner came for the comic, it always reminds me of the aspect where there was the joke of them making the mini bots combine. That's something I would like to see just for fun. Somebody do that. Come on.
It's like, just because it's a team, it doesn't mean it has to combine to become a gigantic robot. You know, we didn't get that for the Autobot cars. We didn't get that for the mini-bots. We didn't get it for the Insecticons. We haven't got it for the Seekers. You know, even Combiner Wars, they had a Starscream as a body of a Seeker, but you didn't have the others as, and they could have easily done that, and they didn't, and I'm glad they didn't. But I worry that they will.
It's almost back to that phrase, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Exactly.
But I think on the whole, I think that there's exciting, you know, we're saying that, and then there is the excitement for me around the potential of the Junkions combining. So that, you know, and I think that's the interesting bit, is that's there's no preconception with that. There's no it has to do X, Y, or Z. That's just going to have fun with the idea of it.
Yeah. I mean, forget everything I just said. I love the idea of the Junkions combining, but I think it's because of the way they've done the Junkions. They've done them as these bots that can turn into bits, and the bits can recombine into numerous other ways. A bit like they do with the weaponizers in whatever line it was the weaponizers were in. Siege? God, that was ages ago. It seems like so long ago now. Anyway, so, you know, that was a cool gimmick, and the gimmick that they've got for these is cool. And let's not forget, Transformers is all about gimmicks. And if you've got a good gimmick, it's great. Again, putting aside the fact that I just complained about one of the combiners. But
I think, yeah, you're right. It doesn't have to force that gimmick down your throat. And I think that's what the Combiner Wars did that really badly, because it was like, let's make everything a combiner, and you don't need to. It's, you know, be smart about it. So yeah, so I think there's interesting for what's coming. I think it's April's roughly when these are expected to drop. Most sites have got them up now. I know Hasbro Pulse put them up first, but your kind of other normal sites have got them up now as well. And then we'll finish off with what they finished off with, their teases. So this is interesting for me as a G.I. Joe fan. They've done this in their G.I. Joe Pulse events for a long time, where they'll reveal a name or they'll reveal an image, and then later down the line they'll reveal the actual model. So it always was weird that they didn't, for me anyway, it was weird they didn't do it in the Transformers. So this time round we did. So we got a couple of images. So we got Beachcomber, DevCon, Armada Megatron, then a confirmation that we're getting Dirge coming back, which I would prefer they had done Thrust as the the one that was challenging to get, because they talk about that. And then on a name basis, they gave us Axle Grease for the next of the Junkions. What are your thoughts on this change to doing this aspect of showing an image of a character that's coming and then the name compared to just showing as bots?
I'm always one for a bit of a tease, and therefore something to get you excited about and make you want to watch the next one. It's like a trailer in a way, and the G.I. Joe, they've been doing this expertly for the last few years, and yeah, as you say, it's a wonder that Transformers has taken this long to get on. I mean, G.I. Joe team are a really, really good team. I very much enjoy watching their fan streams. I've barely watched any of the Transformers ones, and no disrespect to the people on it, but it felt like watching it earlier, they had a lovely lady who was very enthusiastic, and you had the nerdiest nerdy guy who he had no charisma. Whereas if you watch the G.I. Joe ones, you've got I've forgotten their names, but anyway, they're amazing and they're full of enthusiasm. They're full of enthusiasm but anyway, so yes, it's great to have little teases. It's great to have a little thing to look forward to. So yes, I agree with that. Anything stick out that you're looking forward to out of those?
Beachcomber, because love mini bots. I've always loved mini bots. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, so I got the smaller bots. I got the mini bots. I got the Insecticons. I got the kind of smaller scale ones. So the idea of them all, you showed off earlier on Cosmos. The modern ones that we're bringing out, the Bumblebee, the Cliffjumper, they're absolutely stunning little bots. So Beachcomber, I'm looking forward to that one. I say the Dirge just more as a tease. The Armada Megatron, I didn't. Armada Megatron was a point where I went, oh, mainline's maybe not for me. Or not Armada Megatron, sorry. That's not true, because Armada Megatron was cool. Armada in itself, just the blockiness of it. But I did pick up some this year at TF Nation, and had a lot more appreciation for them in reflection now, looking back. The Starscream they brought out last year was stunning. So the idea of what can they do with Armada Megatron, and I think we're all confident we're going to be getting a Prime as well. I think that'll be really exciting to see.
Yeah, I think I mentioned in my other video that 13 people have watched, maybe, that the figure I was most looking forward to was the Armada Prime reveal. It's on the box art. He's on the poster. He's there at the top. And I did notice during the live stream, they showed the poster, but they'd moved the logo.
I did as well, yeah.
Armada Prime. And I was like, you. See, look, there's Armada Prime. A whole shelf of Armada Primes. I love them. Slightly different to you. I remember going from Beast Wars, and then you had Car Robots, or RID. And they were these amazing things. And I remember getting an issue of, I think it was Toy Fair, and it had a preview of all of the Armada figures. And it had Prime with his weird hot rod exhaust pipe head. Yeah. And I was like, what? I hated them. And then I saw them in the shop. I saw them in a comic shop that had them imported from wherever, and bought them all because their Transformers are amazing. Anyway, I actually bought Armada Prime on my honeymoon in a Walmart in America. But yeah, so I was disappointed with that. But the thing I want to end on is I love when they move away from G1. I love when they start touching upon the other lines. My absolute dream for Transformers is for them to do a mainline line that is new. A new interpretation of Transformers, like what we had with Armada and Car Robots, or Robots in Disguise, or Beast Wars, or whatever. But
remember, those are kids-aimed shows. Those weren't main. I know they're in line. They didn't have a collector's line at that point.
Exactly. So
that aspect.
it's a difficult one because we do have Earthrise and we had Cyberverse Adventures, so I suppose we are getting that to an extent, but it's not aimed at us. It's aimed at the people who support this line, these small children. But yeah, I would love them to do a collector's line that is new. I don't think it'll ever happen, but hey, something that's not G1, please.
No, and I think I liked a very quick touch on that. Like, I watched Robots in Disguise, the newer one, with my son, and absolutely loved it. And some of the bots in that were just brilliant. And like, the good thing with these shows is they don't have to all stick to G1. They bring things in. We saw, for example, earlier on, there was the one we never touched on was Animated Prowl. These shows have brought different variations in. Bulkhead is one of my favourite characters. It was great. Wingblade, there's I think it's interesting that they're doing enough so that, like, I would sit and watch with my youngest now. We've watched the Earthspark a couple of times now, because there's bits in it for me. There's also the new bits for kids, or reinterpretations, because I think that's always fun. Now going back and looking at the Unicron trilogy stuff, you're seeing reinterpretations of the characters we had, and it's not going, yep, we're going to have Bumblebee and he's going to be a VW Beetle and that's what he's always going to be. They'll pick their characters and go, here's a name, but actually let's twist it a little bit, let's do something different. So yeah.
I mean, they did that with Prime and that was amazing, and it's actually my favourite version of Transformers in a lot of ways. I think it would just be, what I would like is to see a line of Transformers that isn't, here's another Bumblebee, here's another Optimus, here's another Megatron, here's another Starscream, here's another Soundwave. This time he's a boat. Yeah, but hey, it's wishful thinking.
I know, and sadly, I don't think your Hasbros, your Mattels, they go back to what works because it works and it sells money, and then they tease extra wee bits in, and throwing things in like a Metal Hawk, or throwing things in like, going to Armada stuff.
And your Star Savers.
That's the best we can get.
Yeah. No, I think we live in a very, very blessed time as far as collectors go in terms of what they actually make available to us. I'm just always want something else.
Yeah, I know. The bit that's upsetting me probably with Legacy is the aspect of we've had Beast Wars stuff in the last few years. We're now seeing Armada. As you said, where's the RID, the original RID stuff?
Yeah.
Where's my fire truck Optimus? Where's my Ultra Magnus? And get the two of them combining. Like, that toy line is one of my favourites for just being like, it really hit the let's throw a bit of G1 and let's throw something new in by doing the repaints and stuff. So that they've obviously done a wee bit. They did it with Scourge, but that was one bot, and that was almost an easy repaint. I want to see. I mean, we're not going to get a Brave Max. I'd love a Brave Max repaint of Fort Max, mind you.
Well, I mean, they could. Hell, they did Cybertron.
I know.
Fortress Maximus, but he had a big sword, so children would want him.
Imagine repainting. Imagine in the opposite end going into the Armada stuff. Imagine repainting HasLab Unicron into the Unicorn Trilogy Unicron.
Well, that's the way to get some use out of that mold, I suppose.
Listen, I think that's going to be us pretty much wrapped up. Any final thoughts on today's panels? Panel. There's some really good stuff in there. It looks really nice. It's really good to see that the line is all the lines rather are continuing, and that there is a collector's focus. So all of us grumpy old men who buy toys can still buy lovely toys. They're not all going to be for everybody. But I've been fairly negative on a lot of this stuff, but there is a lot of stuff I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy Primes. I'm going to buy a couple of the other figures, and I still like fiddling with things. So and there's lots of stuff in the future that's going to interest me, and I'm tempted to go back and pick up the different Armada ones they've done, even though Armada is by no means my favourite line. But if you're doing that, the Armada Starscream is just stunning. What a great figure. I would highly recommend that. Yeah, for me, I'm in the same as you. The aspect that there's, if we look at the reveals today, you've got what's Twinkist was from Headmasters when he first appeared. Yet, so you've got Headmasters there. You've got Shrapnel being G1. You've got a brand new whole different thing in the Junkions that are not really, they're inspired by, but they're not based on anything. You've got an animated figure in there. Metal Hawk was
Victory. Yeah.
You've got Skyquake being Prime. You've got a teaser Armada Megatron. Like, how many different lines are we getting in one line?
I complained about everything being G1, and then you completely proven me well wrong on that. And you're right. There isn't as much G1. I'm blinded by the G1 sort of this stuff these days. But yeah, you're right. There's barely any in that wave. There's barely any G1. We didn't touch on the yet again repaint of a Seeker, but that's kind of part of the course these days. And I do love that core Nemesis Prime. He looks awesome.
Yes, he does actually. It really did.
Yeah.
The axe looked lovely.
Yeah, it did. I don't think I haven't got the core class one to hand. Otherwise, I'd fill him about. But it looks gorgeous. I'm looking forward to that.
Magic. Well, listen, thanks very much for joining us. Simon and I have got some plans to do some more videos with Primetime TV. We'll do some news. We'll do some reactions. This seemed like the easy first one to really jump us back on, and these videos will be exclusive to YouTube, but we'll be sharing them in the Talking Robots group. So like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Come join us in the Talking Robots chat Facebook group. Thanks very much, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Cheers, guys. See you soon. Bye.